trule mal gira dong ate ale don se aru bakal dios e marang asulel klangal tangat la maskidra klabogol ngil belwad ma bimokal te la dalo gerang klel di kuntel te ale trule bogusus rai bedul maraklay marugul belau bilung me biraklay mar masil belau President Paulus marugul senators delegate speaker kanay marugul delegates Chief Justice ngiray galaw marugul justices governors, speakers, lators, marbek la other belaw. Mangara o charigi mora ablur ngayangal mangara ikler ablur berara ansins. Igida dire mal maru la total ngartia labungya our ministers, mangartia Minister Victor, Minister Olgril, Minister Obiang, Minister Matul, Special Advisor Jenkins, ma Director Uduy, ma Chief of Staff, ma Director Palora Airport. Ma CIP Manager o top, ma Director Assistant Trainer Minor, Officer CIP. Kita mal tukar kya kari lang ng mo continue sa lurere del tigal ministry o mo highlight tigel lurere ng mal no to kay dul sa education am da ate electrical restra endra year magada continue lang di man mereng asula media ng artel mo gadal tutaw malungit tutaw me Miss Raklay Miss Sungyama Lilay mangalday malungit tutaw le koromyo and welcome kada o amal full house media la tutaw mal to ka question kita kotruleng Happy New Year marabek lahat de ulaklat ko sa el almel kotulurior para January 19 para 7 a.m. Ikadmor sa PCC Theater al mo holder sa National Day of Prayer gid magada otkera arbek la adal mem tuk join gid gidel say diregal mrenga suli our media nosil attend the special press conference gid tel nombre gal week dire ka malungi tanglungu mora trungal ka rengal na dibusel niya adro mangyat mal sodel dire ka tial mrenga sulir trigel el adr belaw sa al mardil el tilob del girel tial sig nemring el loro el girel asig mrenga sula blura mrigel mlesendara agoscard manevil matmakal me bangyadra atial sig kada mdayla sa way gagid el timing tamra lurtur trigal al التيرا ما يدري يد لا الغاية سو راوي جايد المقلول النيا اوك operational جدا المسون سرين دي اكتيرا الموتير تيالو هسه هذا اقمنير هسه جدا سأل بيبير التايمين سيدل دي جدا المولا روغل تقوي دي بيبير التايمين يعني فيرن اويل ناري الميت سيل دبرها اي اوي I think that something that we can all learn that maybe can help us. The regal asing ngila egal bil singeda al kaltmok ngari communication ni. Ito na sa mo tatiwan mo roy deng model aurora dengwa. Di ngaria device will help prigida blura Taiwan ICDF. El godong godong asing AIS sel ngara bilas ang otilo sa sel bilas ang ngarier em lorger. Igarugul fishing boat like I got long liner ma adial al mliok rabla daiga ording al tutoring diga di rule mo igal uk magigarel bilas matia koram le voluntary program matrigel uk adra asil mora amef mata tung sige del device ngom mo installing rabil singir matia wai tige le ongwal fishermen adman rekomendasyon mga lebora amef mga igal device ngaria tolab edel dart Maldriga Foria radel mo omalay mga bay mutel telo sa tial el bom ngay lendi ka mo dengi idam danglingel adra Edward buri nga yangan ne ngulba wana igel device dimle sela tal siga nga marine lomol el matigari mga kada mal encourage ado sa Minister Victor sa morger sin Michael device di agora officer out Mora Bureau of Fisheries Rangamalan, kaya lobby siya kami Rangamalan. Tala ng RCS, el helper. Demi ngirmi dole. Om di mo mesang yo se me ona igel device ag yosperi. De tiamal tokbet sel mal lungil mortigel adro omier. De tegi aplo mor oroi de sometimes hindi wana masir tir mong to tira lang aria. Tegi priority ag mura tar tourist vere. Bise? Okay. Julang. Ega di free. Amrani ang giril charge la kung del dart kluga imo. Di trigamle gongel donate egal di free le del dart pieces. So if you think about it, it's $100,000 donation al giril egal bilas. So kita trigamle ra mututaw. Adamle attender sel daseng Honolulu Defense Forum. Nagatela del mong Palau, but I think Dirakalam Pacific. Masada igel issues sigid when it comes to ensuring that we keep a free and open Indo-Pacific. Kita ambengel wase abela alatid malsoad allocation rigid ang oigid mo apelingela asedro ase klol luldiga radron la blur ambrigel blur Taiwan blur ambria asa asina gulus pera tokor sera karse ngari sel domo ase first island chain which in blur hori ping ma blur Taiwan ngari sel domo sen second island chain blur bela walul dimo kor sel second island chain nga mna telegal mle open Admiral Paparongel of course Admiral Longora Indo-Pacam nga kamlo yulel mga do adur maklat kartilo ase kamama adagi mara 1.0 adagi mara tuagila ngara 1.5 leng already am kit lotro am kit claro al sela blue bela ngarngi ar turist al stober tira adrasina ayer rogul kita ablo al masad al gagros el activity lo rural sela blura abela trigal selit adrasina aya au tara tara makamadal niya already kadam na mo swaring tadi met mura karen sedel di kalor turo kadri kalom dengel wase dilirar solda amle lang lakra abluan al dirigal dimla lawai sel maral mo dula saun egi ngari agora akorte siro ase sel ukle belang lakra blu to wais di tra tokora osper sel ase gimlang lakar sel 12 mile deka bukul gimaw isa gidiwa transit di kita aigang already activity maral kada umarar sel tokolo ase adak ekadam sisi. We're stronger together. Most importantly, a presence is deterrence. Also ngaria ablakatak lo sa abluram rigel marsolda artira ablo lolding elemliwekra abluat en kadasal baak. Ikidam dengin wasa al timing ngari sa igen radar site lo rule sa momlisira portergid ma airport ra ablilio aigang adirulam rigel mong sisi el Jika di longgar belau, diri kan make sure sisi el mangkartial el tahir ngaral al dangar al sel. Kadang lo ase sel tingela Trump el bilil to Reagan ase al sum tsada abud ngire logi aklisi. Le sela kada katmokla yang baise de lo maya agarior el mergid malu kada ma ngau digel me mang kada dirigal malul maklat kartira sel el nia close to trilam rigel ada kadilo mesa dial ma skogi ma igalu tora sedro se tora defense dirigal giro mesra economic resilience matara program el launcheringia paparo yalong investment accelerator sel idea ni asing ni encourage a company ram rigel el top del meraigal el blura taya yo mesa sengara igel bebira a shoba el sil tira moktuba lungil gira la blura rigel direct help supporter soldado help rigel for example kada encourage ta sebe mo boro hotel ang amu to kadel me visitor bela abel visit to spe hotel bolkeria how can we work together el lungil ram rigel lungil rigid everybody winning together so kita I think that's the main goal or sel al forum kada kadulay sa tirayel already kada mas challenge din il tol wa cyber attacks you know one of the things el mal interesting el klor tapiga sel el warfare los pa information. Kasing balura Sina, mablura Russia el alta mal toga false information all to. They actually have within NSC Defense Department a whole departmental trial figure to asem garal stobayal false information all to. I mean, we see it a Palau Forum. Palau Forum, there's also you begin to see a lot of false information all to. For example, 1600, I saw one post, 1600, 1950, 1,650 people left Palau last year. So, I mean, first of all, it's not a true fact, but our post, robots, people, it's actually AI generates these questions, confuse the public, so you don't know what the reality is. So it's a big problem, and that's why it's true media is important. At least we know Tia Island Times, Tia Palau, Tia TMC, got Jennifer. But when it's either on the anonymous fake names and stuff, you have to be careful. A lot of times it's the wrong information that's getting out there. A lot of it is to undermine create conflict rather than. So it's a way to weaken a nation. That's what they were sharing. Say, wow, drugs, other things. It's a full attack. El defense minister Ashaval, Koyozumi, mal defense minister, ngem lo modadu. Dirigam lo modadu es el share challenges Ashaval and dik medal wayit. They're also having the same problems. Incursion or other sinal mura Ashaval, dirigam el tourist tira blal. Because of their stance on Taiwan, to restrict their tourists and Ashaval. All the things that we're, afternoon, I got speech, I got black share, sell, 2,000. But I think we have shared challenges, but it also means that we need to, and I think that's really is the purpose of the forum, to be informed so that you can make good decisions and help each other. Of course, Admiral Paparo says, hey, hopefully he'll come to visit us soon. The Amrigela Clo activity in El Blue Belau, the Nombre Xeluk, Igel agreement, the land owners Rablilio, Madik Medum Maria Aurora, Yellow Courier Rablilio, Madiregal Tel Porter Yedran Amlan. The regal Mnesed el Mitringel December is Deputy Assistant Secretary, was it? Uxel East Asia Pacific Area State Department. The updated Rugul partnership sergid, including Amlaya Tibrugadi the update Segada Kadigir third country national agreement tergid. Basically, it was a Moingansil Radal Mera Blur Vela Masalagi Mat Mokramam and SL Gibom ready, I will let you know. But Gidam Dinas Amrigela important partner. Of course, they're grateful for our support to them. When it comes down to it, we're partners, so we help each other in addressing common and shared challenges that we have. L'importance del security agreement, el part el TCN agreement. Necessarily mal mo understand rase ngara sel mal dos per ngira al sel makase kama sa marad al berbela al her program ra galurior in customs and immigration, in police, at the AG's office, and I want boots on the ground. So at least for a year or two, we're gonna surge. El help rigidra, gidam denga se ngariak challenge rigidra drugs. We're making headway. I don't know if it was shared in earlier press conferences. And the Arisel Bastem Lania Macau, Ertrigel, el Biltiger Tir, working with NSC, Mlosil, identifier Tire, stubborn, I create a border, but we have to be combating on all fronts. And of course, there are other Palau, we're doing multiple things, but we still know, we acknowledge that we need more support. And that's what I try to let them understand. We don't need more advisors. We need boots on the ground. That means they're working to help us. So, kita adiri also del mo acknowledge saya elalgap singe Morisel Pickwick Kala. Mlamo 25 years. Perserabol mereka Pickwick. I'm going to celebrate 25 years of success. And I think it's clearly it's been rooted in community, grounded in science, and has been empowered by commitment. That's their theme. Lui maimarak, lu gurulel eral gurulel, ogure, ogure, ogurwil, ma the bell bella, ulurtuira arbelu omsu ma blakadring. You know, and I think the other thing that we can celebrate from this, I say, tell Kidel Rablur Bela continue to be leaders. Seldungura Tokora the Bel Belau. And because of that leadership, the Mesal was saying Adumur Belau, and not top the more Krel Belau. Mang Sira the Hotel Mur Obis of the military cell, UBVP. El UBVP cellul, Niam not Maka Pacific or Ogel was a the Momorium Rodel Basen, the manager Adartel Basen. Emro Ser Lang am Laimul and Mora Blue Laugh. And Mora Igel was saying BBNG, Other cell, El Dav, El Dega, well, the Bella Blue Laugh, Degal Naral Silla Imol Blue. Ser January 17, 2026. The cell BBNG treaty enters into force. Se said the proud the other Belau, get another Belau. I'm the first to ratify cell agreement January 2024. January 22, 2024. So we get the first to ratify, and to enter it into force, we need to reach 60. Sera UNGA, I'm 60, I'm 60. So that means ngingalak la ogol melbulura blulada wal blel el cell process gida saying as executive and then gira la all bill ratify kada mrenga sula other all bill el direct mal egal beber hablo mal no meu de gida mal lembre de ratify gida mle sign ra a cell treaty a cell UNGA ra 2023 September 2023 ya January all bill gulula amla pasra resolution. So that was only within a span of 4 months. Now, Baby Rablu took them almost a year. So, gida, maula ka mal, nasid rasi ka dakot. Rather FSM, am lekot saying, emlo number 8 ratified. Okay. So, sige well, kasi, am lesam lekot hindi. Anyway, kada mre ngasula adro albil. I know, sel sorry mredeng sebel mreden. Kada mal mre ngasulir. Kita direct this other I say Abela direct grant 175,000 through GEF my FAO tianga amolong se orgid para aigel el uktora luul tia lo tutel tia el BBNJ leng tianga of course ang sa other cell dabang ng rekrela debet di aigel bel Yal Romiada, era el cel de bed, todo more crela de bed, cel drula gal udul moga o shishiu, en movio tertira, o tirakra imol la, el cedro hacen, movio tergit o tautri, sea adolas mal melisi. Kida, mdena se hablur vela a parte cel de hacen high level panel, al sharing, gid ma adra Norway, es el mal, el Dulingit ringi rablulada tiagi del uldas ora sei odel basenta adon rem ringi dartel basenta da manageringi ese mlangalakra dartel blu da se utmla gonger segi del uldaso tel BBNG awadi bolo lisi erse ne gadon usel mertial uk sanctuary ringi rablur belau en diregal kida ukna omre gaigal lom subet emna terga klilo ase Sel quote cloud to trail dong riomri, sel ال 50 miles المليوقرا هيقال الملل أبلور بيلاو مرا أولم وايسي سيل biodiversity نغارا هيقال المول سيل إكرال سي أقلو تترال ngoreo merengel ngara alsel yak ngoreo meri prospering sustainably en gidam dena sing aria alla al pending am dala olbira galulau el wal ndigal resize the marine sanctuary ngura 80% and mero gimel percent the actually a science tells you it needs to be 30% still protected. Let's say 50 miles من الأخرى يروح الملاد comes up to about 29%. So siguro di mas kami idea mong di kumara lo sing multura yelom su ma aldo lo bang yela ya Russell group gidam dengan lo sing adra shabala dire kan lame on trir. And just to be clear kadam lame sa igel for example fishing days the collect for long line went from 680,000 ila lirang adi 15,000. That's just an example or sige daliga. Kaya ngora per saying we're talking several million al mla reduce. Ilang namo da kay days no mara shabal mara per saying al sela ada bet. Kaya diregal gida mo mesa nga gida mo bla takra atretelo lo mo ngada le gida ngari awdo do ngari ngira per saying digel dela da ngara ere belaw. Ngara ere bebi rablo. Di a priority regal blue ada kalau mara dai sirgi dengan dekat dengan era blue ayah wal dai sirgi dat tamal mo regal baby rablu ultra I think in effect we have lost revenue and what we're trying to do is how do we build a stable, resilient, diversified economy, and fishing has to be part of that component. Trigam le mitra atriel for el other olbira shaban le visit trigger el tuta mandim le tuta no miter tire trigger ngartiang al review igel project yes ora blur shabal mera blur velo kidam dingin lo ase mal betoga bla rule and there's many in the pipeline ngari sel didramina tobasi loruri al time ngari sel water project mo mling tegel tokon pa el Bible marcha al sela blue orior Maria ottega lo ruri blue ramleo Maria project tra fishing port et mal dir mukat lo ase se lo mngedra adra blue shabal ayolita se molisi ni ngom adra oginawa na modartel dagal dangara omngede makta se ndega mal madinge le adra shabal se dungur omngede ayer report tamna otese to tamdu ngarai que son mo olger da yel ngalibr belao agi mol durok mal لما جيت تيال سكوجي بولشة بيجي تيال سكوجي هذا نقول أبلا شابال ما أبيلاو. good news أكمل رأسوس أكمل ديرجا ولا ديرجا سال good news ديرجا سال flight رشابال أملا لا أكمل تمام. علمت تيال منارا flight رشابال ديرجا على airport سديرجا سال ويل تقول ملامو إروسون على airport. A problem United أملا overload رسكوجي. ويسي أملا let still ديرجا رشابال مربلا غيريل reduce our passenger and girel enough alu lol tagartir al sumuria problem at telendra kmung yap pangyan di okya gamlo de gasir goto artir metomos okya em clock clear riga ngar ogal adal dimla ga bagage tir tangar sel fill out a form tir la mala voucher tir mo shopping but say that's a sad part but the good news is the flight was full. That means they sold more seats than they planned. So, oh, that explains why I'm low. Yeah. So, yeah, look, share I get lungil ice. Malway say, the continue tell press conference. Should they let you ask questions or other presentation? So, I have a question just quickly, and then we go to the presentations. Okay, bon.
To follow up a couple of questions, President. Based on recent report, one, come mention the most last part you mentioned was nadarap a revenue rigid because of namuti kay percent. Okay. When you say revenue, kamusta sel fishing days scheme?
Yeah, hal sa ala Victor Melensa.
Ito lang pwede clarify sel masya the way kita earn revenue o mga revenue. Ariya tablon rolin. Ariya online. Kilo ba lara yellowfin mabikay. Annually prior to 2019, the may ngara over $500,000 in just purchase of days. May gulolo ko President Lalir.
2019.
Lalir hindi 15,000. Percent gilawang gelwog under the PNA scheme. Sa edel trade day sirgi del mora bebira blutomar. So dia la dia kan necessary ngara era de belvelo. Value ra day sirgi da mladrap by about 30%. Takti ngusegi del gora general duldas wel gire la kwasea. Bebira blu amla mo restrict ra dia ramngedra siabal. Tom ara day sirgi. Mora era FSM Marshall Island. So in 2025, maturity of our days, alul maar Papua New Guinea, dingul maar at a 30% discount. That's the only way we can sell. Otherwise, and the alum are days rigid. So say no mesringin malamol maral mo gagare revenue this year. Gyumura January, usually by this time, agim latra up to maybe 40 to 50% of our days. Agim latra less than 10%. So question ra ko siya ngara value ra other mga siabal al mera value beno. Other mga siabal ra gal previous years, even though self dili ra gal mera air belaw. Tom ara nga worth $1 million per sale vessel days. Yung arangil sell market value. Sell gimultra ringin $9,500 per day. Ito marar sa igilya. Di akalwa igal bebir abalul the deal with. We have to discount it marar. So say impact ra akuktial blather restrict ra domestic fishing zone or given more say it's going to continue to get worse.
Google clarification. Ako mesra report September 4th quarter of 2025. Yeah, fishing days revenue amle exceed amle 10,633,000. Which is 123% over estimated at fishing days revenue projection at 2025. In fact, this is probably the highest isang fishing days since fishing day implement fishing days.
So when we classify the fishing day revenue, saludo U.S. fishing trading ara alsel. So what happens in 2025? The U.S. didn't pay for 2023. 2024. They were delayed. So they gave us 2024 and 2025. Now that Sewal grant, they're not using it to buy actual fishing days. So I don't know if you remember back at beginning of term first term Mlani Sel Oceans Conference at Ablur Vela Mrigela before used to give $20 million a year in more self fishing treaty. And then we negotiated the Pacific negotiated and pushed it up to 60 million. So sell allocation together I'll say. So the reason why I sell without a claw, it's not actual fishing days that were sold. It was actual the fishing treaty money that came from the United States, which is basically a grant that they give to all countries.
How much was that?
So maybe important to explain
it's-
about treating mga scheme. So in 17 and Pacific Island, negotiate Lobangela Marigel for US access to Pacific Island waters. Alara Marigel sebel ngara era any Pacific Island. In exchange, ya Marigel provider say gidel wasing $60 million annually as an economic assistance. So it is not fishing revenue. It's an economic assistance el mera Pacific Island. And then igal Pacific Island Paris amle agree lo miringil ngaringi sila basing equal share. Mong kadungwa ngara $2.some million just for being part of the treaty. El sumo ko trawa additional days mura dilela Marigel ma additional revenue. But for the last many years, Marigel la diagalom ara days servelo. Yom ara days ra kiribas lengklo the beer. So there's really no reason for US to buy days rigid leng diaga fishing ground rigid for them. So say impact ra akuk contribution ra sel US tuna treaty. In fact, important kasi sila bolo ra PNMS. Let's try to cheer at that time. Pacific Island namle renegotiate tel treaty lo bangela balura Marigel. Irigel mle designer tel PNMS I'll share their report with the media como will understand it. The dilul kasi Avela girel di silent yagal engage in the negotiation. Sel pasara al ula PNMS and the inform Marigel was agim la close ra the belvelo. But serakuk the bedasis bertal administration egida milsal kasi there's opportunity for us to continue to gain revenue from US treaty. So in fact ang belawa lumakadong ra meeting Lobangela Blura Marigel and Mloringila during Ocean Conference. And that's really where a Pacific Island countries really demanded till Marigel kasi so mundiam increase it almost 60 million kada mo dira treaty.
So just to give you, share together before was less than $1 million. Now it's 2.3 million. So if you add 24 and 25 together, it's about 4.6 million, I think is the correct number. So you get 10 million and minus 4.6 million, as sigit sel dosang igel fishing days and notro. If you
Gula sel I get share together tell US treaty considered to be fishing days. That's how you classified it under revenue.
yeah, under our revenue, yeah, just to keep track of fishing.
So for about 4 million of the 10 million is
So that 10 million will drop by 2.3 because we're not getting an additional 2.3 lang leudodra 24. 24 ma 24, 24 ma 25 am left ma. So it's about 6 million. And at one point it used to be like 9 million if you look at the records.
all right.
9 million alam na 2019.
Yeah, I think last year nga 8 million, I believe.
No, last year may
fishing
10.
days. Fishing days. I'm talking about fishing days. Kumsa dalasing din drop pa igal fishing revenue because na mo dakalom ara fishing days agit. This year kumwase 30% tara kadam latrura di about 30% tara igal fishing available fishing days agit.
So also important the explainer say we had a bilateral arrangement with Nauru for 3 years about 300 days up until end of 2023. And then I'm lateral renegotiate they are willing to buy. FSM Lomara they sergidra 2022 and 2023. They were not buying 2024 but 2025. So we had to negotiate with Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea mal salil belau, so they were willing to buy. And they are lost they sergid. But they can only do that for X number of years. Mong seldo mesara ako projection revenue kasi it's going to continue to decrease every year. Ngani kasi tel revenue from long line alone seldo sing fishing days indirect revenue from the fishing is $2.8 million a year before 2019. When you put that into perspective, kasi in 10 years, you're losing about $20 million. Because ang mo gagari ay gigit ako na gire the almost into the future. Selva according kasi we made more money, but when we look into the future, we're going to make less money from our fishing activities.
Plus we get less for our days. So just to give you an idea, Kiribati had the record number of fishing revenue last year, I think, over 200 million for the 11,000 days that they sell. So cost per day continues to go up. Di kita abay, wala ngalang hindi ka rokya kita sell or try days it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Maldelas the follow-up question. Question ni President kami mention ra nung na question nga electrical mill sa Facebook la si 1,600 del other.
Ano naman
we want to verify that. Hindi
yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. Lang anonymous. So that we need to have real reporting. Maksudnya ka report government. Where did it come from? And Facebook should not be a reliable source of information.
So, the question nga kasi, within the last 3 or 4 years, kung ni-implement sel nga immigration sel that of their bela, tamustat collect the information na passport, tamatang ila sentel other bela, am laptop, and tumisois. Sel information sa pedan mo, update rin yun, kasi, so, tell other bela, tilo, they haven't returned, dahil may bela, or since, ngayon, potokol ada di potokol every other month and the tilo de me. Do we have that data because we've been collecting?
I guess there's a way to try to analyze. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll talk to immigration or something.
I thought somebody had access to information from the immigration.
Yeah.
That's
Possibly
my follow-up
anonymous.
question.
Yeah. But it doesn't make sense. Why say this? We would feel a lot more difference in 1 year. Say over time, yeah. But for 1 year, that's a lot of people. Yeah, but it's a good question. Yeah, I think we need to check on us. No hay que blue bela mlesois Mirael. Are we only counting Mirael? But to other bela may visit Mirael. Why send it to other bela? Anyway. Okay, so hindi mo lang continue tinggal paper minister sa soril mo do. Yung up to a question ko may gira minister of justice mo. Hala pa ikot tel tama mo. Okay, halal balbo o minister of ya. Ngora mo sobok kaya minister of justice kami amora minister of justice ada. Okay, so lang.
alle asusta namdul mora bektan tolingite edol mol martial table the presentation etiang maldi mo update regular other media tial malklo concern ringil facility rigit mal gidel concern ringil tiaya mo house ra kirgal ngalgedel dolas malwase al bol tu tiangil tobda emergong ang guk namo sabil telgibel positiva klangartir ma adiregal mo sa edel uspertir community rigid matiagida aselway al board eye view o hindi nakalo lamyak la adra kalela armam kalo la yang tulong spe adrone tiagida facility rigid diaka tianga auril siasin itru dim nagim kora altering ilo ba AI kora merungin mo ngil tiagid ya apor anik se ay gagid ay gel areas sa malubeng igel logot maklela ay gero kuil basiora al seltial facility maikrel mang ya rail mo mesring tiang compact road el direction ringa maral pedula capital tiagida el clow rail belele rail tiagida sil tuugil el mortial الفاسيليتي الجيد وممس إلين يجد arinya basketball court el morngi mangarinya water catchment ma ay gagidale chapel diregal umomeseng morngi a water storage tanker tir diregal morngi sel el storage facility el wall ball lo nga sewe supporter sel umra ajele tianga amal soala minister olgeri le langaringa igel lundars malubeng eso lo labar adara blue club ang ngigel ngarang klele tang mail more seguidel outdoor facility sort ultul mostor al sel storage tira indoor malubeng mora igel boring diregal el omomister ringi etial ngaringa 20 feet el fence git ese sel yel hotel 10 feet a ground up se concrete cement sel second 10 feet ringi a chain link ngami diesel bebul say ang arinya yel ngarinya yel ngagine ndiakal dilbeo te dolom yak moringi lang makador merklalo meringla apodo oleong aye diregal lo spell keeper adara ngara al seltiang ayel seguid el red line el momestri ngara balngel tial al facility se lo mira aygal blay tial blirira ar female mar juvenile ma blirira ar male ayel housing tir masel open yard tir al mobdula areom o momesel guk persel el catwalk ngar sale ngarinya awats tower guk malmal telmei seya o mira tirgal lirar sal mablirar dil mar maggerel ngal se rail ngara dalonglel kanik tegal tablol building selo sperinya tirgal correctional facility staff malubeta officers el meru laurelir mangarinya access tiral me igal tablol building di amanle important awaseng magaranya meaklar juvenile mar female mo diakal telo era tirgal kuk saal ngara apel tel correctional facility arogul omomesen diregal tanga tel merio ay tablo space ra parking lot hindi mamdas enough accommodate our visitors mar adel kuk melding diregal mangarinya accommodation parking el mora bus al su mangarinya conglomerate adra iglesia al molding al ubeng mo total transporter tilmo segi dia diregal sa ilo sparing arogul at tegi del female ma juvenile building self first floor ngi arogul adel motmur say segi dia mo processing area mo processor til say waset tangara juvenile and female matangatel building ertir al ubeng male mora selguk building ararsal abora tiagida ol tayelu reol mader elang eselabol merek yang melamat mok laurel tial facility mengaringi ako tengaringi sel male ma female juvenile building work sel dir kamadel di omo meser ngi ang 80% na momrek March 9 el arak ingi agirel complete cellular ekada ko down na list at chapel ma basketball court ma fence 50% March 8 ingi complete building ra female ma juvenile ay gadi interior modifications ngigel wal nga ra finishing ring iludor February 27 el rak en momrek a building ra direct interior modifications ra male arsal 75% momrek ra February 24 a power supply ma electrical mechanical housing 40% March 9 en momrek es el last water supply system, el 35% de February 28. En ya momrega urele. Llegué del ngara left, llegué de ahí paget sa regularo Rael Morai sel original el contractor at starter ngilo bangela PNQ tirigay gidar sa kontraktor lo relal umamis sa tangari arte del kontraktor lo relal tayo before ang dimnet PNQ ulungora araudor di kadam no tuira urgency araudor madiregal help para atial overcrowding ma deterioration atial current facility gid ang president tamno o tilo da may ringil wasingire de auror ngara amre eder rolel et igagidem no hire additional contractor al momorgoring kay gida dim netal rail do giwi en sebe de lor di tialur yang president ko mar adara media se tial correctional facility rakuk either Bureau of Public Work ma CIP. Adim na so dal direkal highlight ringi tiang yang klima Bureau a ministry din direkal dim na so dal highlight ra el alu lelarak silgu Bureau aviation al ngaring ya al director niya Peter Paloy. Problem. Okay. Kapurawan. Next. Yagida president ako arbekla adamar adara media. Yagida igel airline at suwebang mirelang o router tir frequency tir a week. Abekl month komdasyon sa pamiul adara media marbekla agad sibil masatyang amang todo United Airline, China Airline, PMA tiale Pacific Missionary Aviation, so mga natong led kita mabalul up. Nauru Airline ang aring sel Island Hopper til. Aquantas umodong alil director Australia May. Philippine Airline so far tadi kam maintainer tingir luas ito mo starter March. Kita frequency til May. Yel baby like charters frequency niya aultuir yel peak season ar tourist al May. Ayagida type para aircraft los pa egal airline mayel tuasay gagida el airline schedule mayel seasonal charter. O may segel seasonal charter Hong Kong egale Macau madiregal Japan Airlines alas tireng naringia time la sileb dado tingel waseng bosep el cook el bla bla direct flight ayida akadep ending kumdas ng lamar close information abla lungon mas kami lay kami mar adara media ali ang artiang ni director Paloy langar niya para kumakay lomsaw ng ger en sa baril al monger ayide presidente di iboda kuway silwase last year medial di 2025 egel no sabi del Qatari bong aringil project ng Lomerek ang aringa dori trill project range sports facilities al mora community centers Palau High School elementary school rail state office dori trill project sabi del momos kami alista ring Ayam lo sabi el magatmok, and on top of that list, yung nga rin igil project el lulumo last year, ekadamal mo maurele el marail mera elang. El arak, alis el kuk matmok karingi, mereka mo a presidenta mo omes ringi mo finalize ringi, adire kal ta omes a engalakar ogi mal PSL project el kuk mo omurel al 2026. Aí de presidente sulang eh.
Sula Minister. Mare question on mora Minister over here. Hale longer a question of mora moche.
Telal rooms ang regal tablo housing matelal prisoners as well mo soyis ba.
Bakida Minister Olgaril lo si halebok sauday yang mobility atakam. Alte adilungile selebol nganik sarngal present.
Ngaraman din nga basketball court sa alida ka pilar de kono crossover. Sige daw na question. But the question nga kalmora Minister Obi ang mention ra schedule presenta me mention regal el schedule aureo el mera momura brilio del project ra military ra brilio. Dome sa ngaringi ongoing now el algo ka to era autotakl nga ra karkaril kinalaw regel el maklol uto mga alseltial project ma agera sa isang ngaringi bol el delay ringi el process al ubay el tablol el side at tamlesa ni agree ang kuktit tati tulong ulit el determina say da kwati so kalo kiring ka
Oy amo sindera issue el ang elea ayel rogul gablil except one amlesain el kongi ako klo monday malubeng issue tirel ang awasing mo nga rabing ila udog dara tulungal kara sila kabli lalu beta adra kabli now ay imora kabli ila ang aring terung el adalom teringi emlesain ngaring imora ako imora faction el emlegan test agi mo mitra ay tirigel komondara adalong lir edi ang amondel ngirel el turnover utamal mera national government el wasad sabel eta adadu maltoba si tira igal utam lenda amondar mul transferring amonda di ngarawa abingel audo egi da gora uriol marare lang
malungit tuta happy new year mer komito kuy minister iarang gora swadal mom dingel wase mel altial kalbus pom lamngil wase ngaya section rardil marsal el al timing wal dil our hard crime matirigel guk laita sentencing tiradit mak dial design ng mlosab umil gut makliya basyol guk most separated tirgal guk serve a lifetime matirgel guk already minimal sentencing artir ya domeseng ako sertial design ng goradia ka laundry services sing wangarat telel misi silgal sa local tial design and direkan diakal gora underground maldingar tial utumel merba le katokora tral wase makarata usper tial utumel more sel gotet kurababal sabet makora diwandel wase tial design and dimlaka gora underground office alubong space sa barirar kalbusin mo uspe sulang
diakam sulang the borsel go tilgere jen agi maldi mangatmok milgad urti albasyo di gumda swa luul ma hotel ra ku kraadan mora alsela girela a minister olgaril mo o mesri Perdi ne make sure nga rin sufficient holding cell ma room mara o mga bacterium sumilti kal adra al cell. Aong erung nga rin laundry area ma lobeng facility nga ra al cell. Service nga ra al cell mandiya ka. El al time o kodul mga hotel facility maldi nga bebula utama. Hindi nakakuraw daswal. Maybe ang lamoringira al sila future di el al time tatemono maldi nga bebula utama.
The last tool gari ke minister ang ngora mal lungilaru the remeng sulwa say there's a lot of ongoing projects or tial administration mel tial mention ilwa say mel muter el alien swal mo badula o kayim al sugum ko ba korati ngarap tulum sab emel ko rashel wa say maldaital telalu daw dam laka karay kaigidel 33 projects and lamkat mokra 2025.
Pamal saura will gere ulgo mandir ngara lu madar ngara gigang la asabe egal remember bebera gal to indi giregal mogera wali we will provide artil al igam la momrek public information ra audio ra balu mang segal mo murtir mato provide lo asang amne tela a cost ra gal guk nomregal project ra last year.
Yeah, the last tel gari ke lo masaw dara tial lo la utam rabliliyo. Kadam dingil wase few press conference ago ka mle mention wase igel clear at title or til individual ada amla kakara 20 million totabel laudo telom ara at tamir. Makora di al sugum sab emel gora am isil merar adarabelul wase el allo rara utum tial city title ang mora Palau public land ang mora national government at ang mora tial tawara kalsol daw. If you can share that, sulang.
Kaya mal blaktak lang nga rin process. A PPLA, Palau Public Land Authority, say custodial regel utmara apuay. Mang aigel city sel tobda en tobda del mera national government aige bolo ngara la PPLA. Hindi akalabora Amerigel malbora US military. Malamol malkloktel la government terbelau. Direct al suadal do liral wasem ne ultui raungil al do maonit. Ya president tamne negotiate egal contract. El sumo modiacaus PLA national government egal utam engal mutal kair el mortigel adalo klan. No bangel egal improvements el ngarbebul.
Comment. Can I just ask a clarification till ang Minister? Negotiate ya President the language include regel ngaring ingar al sila document talibang it's an understanding. Dalwa siya al sukum makabalmenta mo takalus pa kang ito no mo tigil adalong klaro.
Language ra contract.
Language sa contract.
Yes.
Lobang gela contract lobang kitigil atong contract mora
Oban tigel
Oban tigil at.
Dul mara atamir.
Okay. Sulang. Thank you.
Clear. Process el dul giungi gida ulingi tera grant. Rablu ramrigel. Loma ra utum ra government rablu bela. Sea atretail. Emrgo kongi lo se. Kada didi lo sper tial utum. El girela. Al spelar kol soldo magidel adar bela. So diwa scochori. Sea process.
Mengaw erata pora Minister Olgarile, Minister Iyar. Lamo pa to kal time yaktyo besel loger. Ngaring iyar adara balul wase ngaring yawa udasura MPIIC mo o mga mokrarar sele ngat mal moramal geok masel limaligal meranekeng sel mo utaray rangaramong radio bes ngaktia lotkia sulang.
Ken almora EPSIGO mo geringi oi semara la continue audio ringi o mo madengir sera forsto mara president milu ule audio nestar tara nekking maral mo el akad malmol merseruel mara EPSIGO le seya oba oltakar a power plant trigit ang mau el mora amalgeo since ngari tial el connecting road ra east el mora west el ngartial ang esar el mo dra oksay udaswa awase me pada kanik taigal belu egar at ogspera bekul time al momre ka urelel ego podo mesay le sewa di bol secondary access el mertial existing el ang already paper rail malungil mang abay Claude Dasor Lange or Uduludor, a presidenta sola de Guyagarro, cool connecting road or a state del Merakapak Road.
Taiwan farm. Self-leader arwa kenta angklel. Gelodor angat pang state. Pamela. Oo. Sige del muuteran. Oo.
Semara dengi remurteri.
Oo. Wali si.
Man lamo oreo malamo recently man.
Del Mudel. Oh, halaman si Elizabeth le.
Taiwan farm. Akla Taiwan farm olok maran mo rabador. Yakpo ti amang pakitaran makmutolomitok ler maabaliwek.
Yeah. Manal waisay. Especially sir el murta dengi gira del make sure and clear el boya problem na dengi gira del adres.
Sunay Minister mal tututlel updated tel ongoing construction at tel BSL mo lila lakalbus rigid di ba there's self question lang alde akmalobes ringi Corregel Weste so ko lagay was nga basketball court sa gid side dara alay sel side dara arsa alay di kardin so wagen din ko Minister Obi ang akla dire kal moklod patra operations certiang scheduling so mga seltan because for obvious reasons and that may include funding and other issues cloud part na di white tial nga rin ang present wari nga scheduling na say malsubo nga rin mo temel ang recreation which includes basketball bola basket wari nga kuk schedule temilar saan wari nga kuk schedule temilar din sige da din basketball court sele dire kan mabibira other recreation area loruringi mo schedule dal nga rin nga temira ardil guk nga outside mga rin nga kuk mo temilar saan hindi kalamix
So what I just did what I'm saying is yeah. These are joint use. You're separating
so why say mo na daily scheduling and activities like I give the areas that are going to be jointly used and then so dog you said all mol maldi say give them letra kaninang galgirela idc at the back update ida kukti update ida was currently the house tir and other current facility gid 110 at sentence del kalabusol surba sentence at 12 tir long term custody di pending agin 71 at tigay gidan ang edit tira saan tigan sentence 71 at tira mail al other belaw 8 al other sina mawan al other
saan el sentence del turba sentence tid riato ardil el sentence del galbus tatir ardil terutid ardila sina ma udakera tigero will sentence del galbus anairi itigel long term el kastudi at tuwela ba tira asal at terutid ardil ako waba segi del ang kalmo segi del nakadirang kal media iwasing nga capacity ti LBSL facility. So a total el capacity ti LBSL facility wasen sab eden el house ra telang al individuals 160. So we go from current number ilang 102 ya all average sal more baba at the houses at tiang yung mo sal more baba 110. Current capacity til LBSL facility ang niya mo 160 spaces other the house so like 58 additional folks, and that's not an invitation. Reminder nga ka kada di omes sige dal to capacity ula kada mo ulal nga sige dia ay kay dal bato issues, concerns, ongoing problems with the jail largely because the facility is very congested. Ay gagi did bring up was say maring ay liak maximum minimum security reveal juveniles mga it is very challenging at time sabi edal mga mokot til ay gidi. Gagi dal facility BSL facility amos sabi الغوت مقليتي العيدية مسبب هذا الجوك prisoner جدا المر standard السبب هذا الجوك sectionalize وكل ذكر التراباسيو تيجي الجوك كورا minimum تيجي الجوك كورا hardcore maximum definitely أرديل تيلياك لما juveniles تيلياك لما ngaring ya section ang ngaring ya mo visiting areas ngaring ya hindi akan lusad kang hindi ngaring ya infirmary ngaring ya clinic Dili ka nga tagi del building ra a female sa mga juveniles. Niya mo clinic at structure. Dili ka nga nga female. Currently, do na bang hospital dili na mo ang asing mo ringi basket mo ringi adult sa PL Marcel. Rapid call time mang ngaring mo while di clinic or say ma chapel waigel blaldo nga minister ngaring ngaring amoteletele la storage ra akalir ngaring recreation area obong gela Minister Victor Ramef Maradal gila mo ko ra Sir Silen Marcel dire recreation rehabilitation e dire kal well help supplementa akalir ay gaygid seral kot talgibom mo meseringi yung laringi other things that were not original design al giblem ask al muedan makaduma lo ring asule lamre edulure la CIP manager al ndir ka telal buiram la memo dimla ka basketball court dimla ka chapel dimla ka patto kaligay gid blal edel ang lamoringi in the space of months. Saragi bom kotel mo bisitri nga hama director el GBSL adal mlo order taluder mlo o mesa progress ringi. So aktirgal mal lungilan mo kung masang date tal kora padula March saka continue el lawrio labantri ma pekal relevant tal agency girela awa appliance mo rawu awu mabetal mo al sel el al time kukimong mo karingi sel the other side of the coin, make sure like we develop the updated policies, SOPs, el gire like el day to day, loratel activities rachel, el igagida dolisi, igagida diregal mo, sebel mo ulay igagida el incidents problems that are going on. So, ngaring aggressive ongoing review, darwa existing SOPs, existing el tetele la oding el matetele la supplies el mesois kami amadingel wasay namoda kal sibira sel mle practice ra abek kalsil sa 2012 kapsangel mo klubsay el sabi il medra pakalira individual el adal el ngartiel basyo am la modiak ya obangel segid ya amlo sisil aggressive review ra existing el menu ma provisions sa kalina kalbus mlamangat mokla meal planner kalbus ul tirak audio laban trira adra nutritionist ra hospital may education ang makatmok la dirigel el kalbus el hospital marulakal lang sel class ra hospital lang sel food handler permitted til matmok lakal ngarinya kaltmok el weekly menu el game review ringi el make sure el wasay hindi ka vilwa ngaramol mong someng ngarang tunang different and then di so kalorang utal tial orang sulina gel betukal al adama family sama al donate over the holiday season magmalmok to ka extra el kura baby la dia kan normally nga menu magmalmok nila dila kan lo another cook addition to the menu over the holiday season to include ramle barbecue tira New Year's Day mang kada agi marura to ko security ak madinga lasang ko ramlok klongi ra say tasong ngari makita kalira ula gyol ula bakalil mo rabet kalsils hindi dire kal gimlo matiga ringil wasan dire kal mo ula ate alal asma kalinga kan chabanda marwadrak sama apat to kol ngarang at say mingira dal malisi tel security hindi agi di blem sto bakal agi mle sto sa agi dal sis balle la kal rabet kalsils lo el balance ngilo banggela subel ma change sa menu el tirga agi mga milkal mo sisiap dingin mang hindi so kaldi makataklisel hindi ka kasuseng o yak mga president pendiktir mo mo yung Facebook sel baby maktire kal kuk iliwital kuk tire kal masada waseng idul alara mam lola bakal el mele tirga dire kal atal girilungi la kandin hindi so kal sure at mula sakal malungin sabihin mo kami sa makapis na mga weekly menus sa gimorula within the budget that we have nga ka personally milsang approve ring make sure na singong ina sufficient provisions na meals nga rin occasionally nga rin fruits nga rin yasay kadamari nga sule la at yung tel Taiwan farm regularly at donate ngays yasay Surang Lensans Company regularly every bi-weekly to donate fruits, mayasay, potatoes, and other things. And betukal adal donate. Ay gaya mo malil ay gaya gidal betukal. Dinakal kukiblam update tel meals. Hindi so ka po understand what I'm saying. Kada challenged, it's obvious kung nakapulgul sa make update. Kung di mo update na nga front page probably every edition na Island Times sama we're challenged because of the current structure of the facility that we have, but we're working very hard with CIP and other partners and Lore other say, and at the same time, edong mokot yan nga rin to the best that we can through policies, more consistent implementation and enforcement. One of the things that we just recently done is reshuffle management para sell day-to-day management para prison and other divisions. Legio Mesra, director and myself from our chiefs, Mesra Club picture. Hindi kalsal sa Pedro Gupti mo imol division, mo division, mo Magio Mesra Club picture, Lila Bulis, o Mesaygan individual divisions, sa Uspe Anges, so more than others at this moment, prioritize MLC, Elogiwa, additional manpower, perhaps more experienced management folks, and other things. Like yung message clone picture. So, sa givya, dire kal, pwedeng yung lasing atara mo, kal, bring up pa rin pata, apek kalurya raway say, kada message wasay, kada develop, progress, adapt, magdukog change, shift around, lo sige sel kotal, moklong yung lalawriyor. Timleso kan start with rato ko ratchel, el mal mo ko ra, itya lolo ko rin Minister Obiang, abay nga niya kakaramilo na to na chele bay ito elme garaw ila kukpura HIS office magrakasa.
Minister Akti, ogel girela alak mangilos el altameng during the oversight hearing with the Senate October last year, addressing 13 prisoner officers are assigned to the prison. Yang sufficient the capacity for the size of this new facility, or are you looking to increase the capacity tigil monache?
We're definitely looking to increase Lilay el altay mga ringi recruitmental ongoing recruitmental through officer gidra personnel el hire additional 15 el police just for the prison. Again, kada challenged hindi rin low rate are interested in apply. Mang dinakal ginamal ayaw mesertial klolo urabli la police across all divisions sa ilang. It was yung makarang abo sufficiently the manay tool structures. Lega mo tool separate structures mangginal simultaneous shift. Tool data shift, tool shift, swing shift, tool graveyard. Mang agi aggressively gitral hire dire kal loli gitra logi wa obisra MHRCT dil nastatra al do gila la reclassification daw do dire police Mr. President el mutal lobal morba mring lurior dia ka adal sal amo brutal lurior leng mring lurior dilawet the lurior club say osoy 7 days a week 365 days a year ding yes dia ka sufficient at your number ilang magi recruit ediregal assessor tial logil manpower across ay garo sa logil division sa bla police long tersel transfer of population and mo.
One more question. Kuminsa there's an infirmary, sa Moringi Asal facility. Moringi, we have kind of program available or Asal facility or an on-site counselor. That's
Definitely Moringi rehabilitation program sa Silangan Ramong when it was not so congested. Yang yakal sal pato karakalbus nga kamlakot tel counselor prison. Yakot men nga school. Mumlari nga bek patingin, mlari nga I was the on-site counselor, mlari nga faith-based programs in May, mlari nga programs sa ospital, mabek patingin lahat. Again, a facility gidel ilanga, mari nga gidel sab edel safely, yakad mga tmok lagi rokoy. Matya gidel BSL facility, amori nga space ringi, mari nga chapel, sab edel space, ngari nga mo spaces ralsel, el sab edel murulay way gidel program, to include alda mamlo bangela hospital ada kadil sel toera clinical care dire mo toera counseling ma other types of counseling guk ogi way gal toera gelisya ding yes that's the plan yan mo rin.
Question happy Tilmuturbal follow-up question Lilay regarding this year police. Alak-alwi de til ay kidawan challenger kami overtime and last report right now yung mal makasayar police al most perti telal police at one time ang per shift lesit ngara blu follow up per se atira kalwase ngani nga challenger kami will hire police kautal mga dudura HRCTD, do we have physical number of young people in Palau sa biiril plan mo regalurior? Also kumandiak ang rangot al option sa pamilo mesringil help para police do their job without having to import tarar other kungel mel mo police.
May say manungil gare yes mal gura broken record and they say a reality. Makasar bulis 10 years ago rather than makasar bulis it is even more makasar el altan more than 10 years ago mang sige dal kalim ra kasi ngari nga physically ngari enough oram ke kalil ad mi kalil willing start from the ground up. Gora timo nga koraseng dia kalsal gisal waisay. Mga mo nga discussions lo nga president other relevant folks including in the cabinet la possibility ra malara nga outside del Mr. President say mal ana per se gimla discuss lo say maybe we can look at region the immediate Pacific region. We have kita mal patoka bla bulisir kita patoka ongoing regional partnerships ma regional assistance ra al truay gal bla bulis ma Australia ma New Zealand mga ringa there's frameworks in place la asab edal tap into gay kita baby ra discussions al chamal ed honor si president
عامله مغيره لما اساسا recruiter Fiji ايا انا مغيره لما اسال options le godo spera ra dire lama اساسا غير ngari ngal kita nam rigel sedren tai sirtil men that's why reclassification akau tu tren غرض الله بودو دي morba maybe there's incentives that mistri tigel ngal kita outside e dollar til men me or so ida marcha mal mere
Yeah, so lang. I think that's good. Minister tial BSL facility radi osing ang morngia solar dengin morngi el besides tial the regular line kotokora blol masada renewable energy mangora swatal mumdingel wasing usab ngania solar panel el lol nga seura e ultakara dengira tial DOC.
Ilang dirga amo supply ra power ra island power ra PPUC ma backup generator para dirga ka lang araw das wending dirga ka para saudara aurele lang
Minister ako rin sir kag wase tigal galbu samla ngwa health certificate 30 marula kal ra sela che ma kamanga da do akoro amda sulwase ngaringi akora part ra program ra sela che al sukumang tol nga sew el marula kal malubang ngiti lurio ra sel tial jail el mortal population ngaringi akora program el sabi imiu low spera aureri tigay del adel lol nga seura al sela chel el mo partner sel el temir el serve mal let's say al sum the serve el 7 years sab amir ngu say del gora wal evaluation er tire me ol nga sertil el waset mal namo gora ngil up el partner tial man dial service el full term and ding bualbol sab el mo lesser through parole board ma mo chel partner up. I mean, I hope I make sense.
Yeah, understand. Technically, penal institution abla kalbu sergit agi ultaw tersel court order del sentence el tobdra court ma court nga reacti si el sab el put those conditions el nga al sela kama mamosab amen el create ra internal system el was saying I think I gal wabla kalbu sa Miguel akora I think they call it less time for good behavior or good conduct ding girel el ngat tial language sa court order sentencing order otherwise ang ginamal ul tirak tial sum ka sentence till 7 years hindi nga rin gal existing ala al ula eligibility kala parole ma eligibility mo sa nga work release school release pardon commutation of sentence ay gaya wasn't serve a certain amount of time ika mo eligible al apply yakuk ogi waigay yan sab ela warden al umla bulis el guk mulo sa recommendation and mura parole board selbol temela adal mura hearing al wasay leong nila teletele lang di kal violate mga giwi sab amal recommend al mun sab el top drop diesel tegit al mura ring system ma gidal al language ring nga al sela sentencing order ako
Aldelas the question na plakati. Minister, ang malbato kay cases el under investigation. Bibili nga manamot telarak. Is there any way, not at this press conference, is el kukmuriya time update ra media ra status ringi wase ngarang kireligere whether ang lamo cold case ngara igel maybe challenges dire kan tigel familiar victims sa malubika nga sa dire kalsuri mo say what's going on. I would appreciate that.
I say it's fair. Fair man ding I appreciate that till I the understanding lo saying dakal sal sa di disclose sa raway tagi del sharing man definitely sabi kan connect me at the time I given you can specifically ask for cases or nga ngegel kukti ka mamala say yagi del klol guys sa gidel tang yagi da sabi disclose so sabi connect me set up pa yagi del
Last talkirige minister. Pamasaw dalwaseng songsar pulis ngaringi ako ra partnership lo banggela igal 16 states mablila pulis sabarira rangers lol nga sewel wa tuguni ablur order ticket 24 hours sa shifter tir ngaringi ako ra partnership omdagel sa pamil kay nga sewel patrol ra sa labalo until such timing en mo enough for pulis ra sa labalo.
Way saying mal nga ringi makadamal kada continue appreciate them lisi ay gigit partnership kami omesan bato kay gal ko na maklol events so kami Mr. Rangers hindi na assist ra National Police ra gal maklol events matial di day to day yang nga ringi ngil working relationship ma understanding at tiran adida issue jurisdiction authority ngari nga igel kuk takal sa state governmental enforce national law and vice versa for some cases sa kukul state ding definitely kada tirgam lang ara academy at makalolo lang ngari nga working relationship with tilong national police mata report assist rangers or amral patrol ra dira kay gal hamlets when they see something that's outside of their legal jurisdiction to enforce, the inform our police. Dire kal nga may galbekal state nga ringi ongoing and ado lo banggala may from other mar governors algirela looking towards empowering state governments state rangers more and most of it'll enforce alula national dire kalito readily available ang legal palo involve la masigi da chance la among sige da ngaringin aldo al either finish ringil aldo Minister Victor ay gid ako ram neto ko represent el sabi the lot of the alilay and nesa ngaringan mo to
Maybe last one. Hindi so kalagay el tiagi del current del facility mo como speringil makarang after ko move mo ra sa facility.
So one definitely ang ginedal mo sa side ra adir tigel kora overnight custodies tigel kora mga el kora di hotel le abane requer ma agel the release tira 24 hours like kora di kisal wasa kada ngutian umakalan mo mga simaringira gidrang esar kukmulto ba ringi so we will set partnering il dirgo service and purpose ngiya dire kan mamman dire kan lamo kay butit batokal dire kan because ang spacing ra mama as share the mang omeng komdi mursel admin o mes mo to ka alisoy mga nan so gi mo spend il dire kan mo buba pa bina function sa mama hindi of course Mr. Obi ang manager Lee, hindi na kalakarakuk to na design mong dong sa iyo. Ay nga siya. Okay, kaya kita to ko na prison ako naman namong katakatame kay president buklabot na ade bukuray kal division siya.
Dire ka nga niya, madayan.
Di daw ay solo sendiri kal ngaring increase ra hiring ra attorney general sa inol was ang ulag dimension na ringi awan rabel all kura angya awaseng mayo da guys. We were also challenged with low number adra la argidra HEO's office nga nga tool additional LPSL haran adra Miguel makadam la mas mo 7 na attorney sergidra HE. So the plan is ang girel help improve our rate review guys ma filing ma prosecution ra gidal baby ringel la amaklol guys mo girel para obisa HE.
Okay. Profesor Tel, Minister Victor Wong.
This was the update tablol document del Ministry October del first one and the annual report Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Environment will give up publish in Monday. The title is Tale of Food, Nature and Community. Al-Aghalith, Mabalwath, Mar other Belaw. This was highlight the report was production aquaculture of Norbab, production livestock, mal mababi ng Norbab. Sektum Norbab hindi ako semla mo enough. Norbab last year compared to 2024. Of course, nadiri ka continue milisia ikay del sector sa mong diri ka achieve ay target sa rin. As well highlight rin yung tiyan kasi production tuna amlorio compared to 2024. So 2024 adial long line ang nga nga elen ang nga quarter below algo dia 2 metric tons. 2025 and dul dia 12 metric tons. To put that in perspective, Surang Supercenter may process about 16 metric tons of refish through sell loltrangi Surang. Ese di one market. Ang nga refish dia kalsis para private market sa kama survey. So sell do mesra lungan la tunan me sois para marketing maran mo gigari. Ako mesra desire tourist maran bela maran mo club. So what does that mean? Ako mo increase a pressure refish. So siya impact palasil gida o mesringi. Ang ulo mga ringal das masing gira do mesra resizing vertical domestic fishing zone. 20% are enough. O the recommend na say all 50%. Ling nga ringa benefit mo a benefit merar other below. Sel benefit merar other below kasi mo ringa affordable tunan nga local market. Mo da katasan malara clol refish. Sige na manera kasi a refish important lang. A tourism in Merbelaw, a reef-based tourism. Tumil na sa marand, mangigar almul. Wala ka, I get rogol scientific research, amla o tilwasi. Also mo dia kang gidel part fish niya help cleaner tial garger. El mada marand, git tialo meselo asi. Kedre la daba dimla mo magaldra every year. O the dio meselo asi maranda di makmadra every year. Sila makmadeng kagidel mo dia kagidel ngigel cleaner tial garger. Ayum da cover tial garger. Modi aldub amran. Mabala aldub amran engagi del soria tourist lo mesringi la debela blur belaw. Maran mo gari. So sige da swal emphasize ringi lang impact ang wilul daswal policy di ka do mesir kwasi mlamo gire del buk adul kwasi. At makarat improve ringi mo o lumasira debel mar other belaw. Ang erol report na dire kalswakal o tiyak kasi sel October 2025 agim le launch ra SL strategic plan ministry sel water strategic plan agim release ra 2021 le 3 years wa blend expire endra 2024 sel do mesel tel title tiyak kasi resilient roots driving communities sel do say resilient roots kada arisel food systems rigid agi kasi kada nurture or other beraw nurture again institutions niya important el gira la food systems togora school gira de los akla togora sers ma togora meda ma togora lugar la clara school gira de misi la adalo bro se lo media pa say lead with integrity leading with integrity pa say we anchor gel decisions el gimoru los pera signs dia gadil gora feeling na gal Steven e kwasing mungil bodo goro laman motelan man based ra actual information ma sel gora target el giblem set ringa kwasing ablur bela import tangara 2 million eggs annually giblem set lo say maybe in the next 2 years ang sabi edel replace ra 50% ay dilin swada replace ra 100% diga de manera quasi capacity rigid resources rigid limited maybe target ra 50% which means 1 million al nice which means ang giram al produce mga 5,000 layer eggs more commercial farms in 2025 no sumam distribute about 3,500 layer eggs and more shares so we're almost reaching a initial target or also will produce 1 million more local market still given affordable so that's what we mean when we say lead with integrity decide based on information dia bukti to bigisra abol gugo ko sen awmil bodom garo lakarbo yes ngungil ding sabet so either sustainable so either affordable iga question gira de lo gersel tegid strategic plan na gayda mam for the next 3 years tegid public as will hold us accountable to what we've said we're going to do for the next 3 years hindi gayid ang anak question so
Sulang Minister Victor tilmutal para the clarification cell was sa undula sa dapat na compared to what year?
2024
2024. Le 2024 le talan metric tons.
30 metric tons
30 metric tons. Sel 30 metric tons el measuring igel landed pipe of fee, lubang
legal landed by Bofi
pipe of fee.
may Bofi ma PCFC Palau Commercial Fishing Company
Commercial fishing company. Lara que katilu na seng ledrap mo 12 metric tons. Is kabasado la say categorize ra fishing zone seng because seng namodekal enough fangi kala mapo FEMA one other fishing company namodekal el harvest ra klol tuna al ube ngari angot al ube mapo FEMA namodekal sengel
Ngil, there's two factors. El domesa adra siaban, el decline from 600 metric tons to about 300 metric tons in the span of 3 years. Then tadingara era de imolpasyo. Siya until sales was about tingara era imolpasyo. Of course ang kaling lambo, kasi lamu bulto, hindi also imelot tiri. Siya one factor lo asing contribute more lungan lang igilan mo kagrean mo el sel domestic fishing so alin dia al kasem la mo dia katuna tuna ngari ningal tuna mo masel to el sel 20% temla mo da sa pirino ang ino kasi dia al economically viable just to fish within tegid 20% for example abo feed al sabil increase number radilel and dia al sabil make sure mungel el minimum ingirel export rangara 45 metric tons
break even.
Nga sab el generate revenue cover expense increase ang number diyan ang uno ma export important leng ruli akong bali mo sab el financially sustainable Tumakumbali financially sustainable ang sabi reduce sa price ng tuna ultra na local market. The only way of feasible generate revenue increase la tuna ra local market. There's no other source of revenue for it. Sa impact ra mlaong si ano la tuna.
Como lo mention kasi may makasatunan lender belaw kid omes number of tourist termal mokto. Therefore moklo ikagidali pressure ikal reef ikal ngigara klingigara almol ma alsela belbelaw ma kadamsadras tunan di aigal dialar siaba la diagal lender tunar belaw.
Dia kalen dia ka existing port facility the mandated tirt mo sa land el land dia ka storage. So, ang ulo mong tial fishing port do daso mamrur yan matpa nga important. Nagmo sa el mandated tirt mo land. Esel land ang gal dia la dia kal giren mala provisions. Wow, alu kalir crew. So, saya amo alar gidan mama ulmira sa el mandate ra siya barko sa land le tumilan ra kas kalela blur belaw.
Kema sel dol goring sel mosa tan alwasi bladara patuna makara latuna maral morbab malumum kasaya basically the misada tel fishing rapofi maigal local domestic fishing companies kung senda kal sab in reach a certain number len kagarea basyo lang ara eringi. Another follow-up said you was say sel ngaral challenge sa omesa ngara ikaigid del domestic fishing company beside the terklungel. Are you saying la siya klo fishing ground the resize PNMS and most of elabo feel muto mala additional is that what's keeping them from growing? Dakal sa elmo to kami singil ng karea fishing zone, is that what you're saying?
Say postal condition, of course investment, but hindi ka other willing to invest if you don't have a fishing ground. So of course and open up yung mga niya sabi ila mo fi kasi lalo akma mabafi mo rabang yung malaralo abang adas ilm salon yung say base ra catch history ra ma base ra klung la fishing ground ya da so mo return el hararalo ma dia ka other willing el mer kasi logro lo bongela bo feel charter ra dilel yung sabi el catch enough ring so iga para investment ma lungel na fishing ground ma. So of course Abofi as a company continue to build its capacity. Akma mong open rak lungel Abofi so el dikul mo tenadilen. I don't think so. It will take time for them to enter into chartering arrangement. Dili ko masada. Hindi kal sa ilil lugora more segid luldas for growth limited the fishing ground ling. They don't wanna take that risk invest ra ano dang kasi hindi kal sa fail. So expansion is a first condition to allow for strategic approach to how they get investment.
So lang maldi one last one the climate change. Kato mesra I report ra SPC ma report to climate change ilwase klel dalela da para Western Pacific tal ngari lang maral mo kayal da ma ikal tuna rigi da ikal kalet lang maral mora east maul mo klo o ngedra FSM makiti basa ngil chekit sel umrolela ikal ngila mang tira kal domesra history ra o ngedra blue belaw makyatse yung maral mo kare by the time ra close ra o ngedra kidra 2019 basically in lamaral mo kare ngara o mesa ngal wase chel the route the resize tel el tabel belaw mo 50% tanya mo open mo ra o manged ngara anticipate ra say malmutal increase o manged mo ay 2020 do we still have that stock enough to cover that al ube cell number say kita di those pairing in wase kada mo continue mo mala ngara 2.6 el mora 4 million a year just because say kita klungela o manged ang cell belaw
Malungil gire le la telgibel mo mga la explanation ling Seldo sadara impact ra climate change na matuna. Ada dik mutuna tinggal tuna ngania may the claim el badengel el dasin commercial species. Sel el domestic clone impact amor ngel skipjack. Skipjack ngel mga nakpursin. Ang ulama in the 70s and 80s, mlanya pull in line fishery below, ngel skipjack mniklor below. Even before the realizer tial the current impact of climate change mlanya shift ra stuck. Ulama mlol mo dia pull in liner below. Ulama dia close percent industry ra sila belam we make our revenue by trading our days with other PNA countries. So when it comes to impact ra climate change, agel belul mo klo impact mo niya agel belul klo percent fishery ni Papua New Guinea, FSM, Marshall Island, Kiribati. Fishery gira belul bela telgi bil unique primarily ngal yellowfin mabikai. Agel protection ra climate change sa kasi hindi kalsan mo impact traffic al kasi move outside ra zone below. Similarly, yellowfin. So, nagigil tool species likely hindi ka close shift real compare more skipjack which will shift to the high seas. So next question was the resize ra PNMS mo 50% ang mga ng mga prior to 2019, of course not. Hindi ka 50% lungal domestic fishing zone. Put that into perspective kasi sira an open 100% ang sabi the license between 70 to 100 vessels. 50% tadi kasi di sabi the license up to 30 or 32 vessels. Yeah, enough pa lang ang sila 50%. So we expect revenue from the direct fishing and talgibul gagari. Ang ulo mo the promoter tiyal kasi albornya port, albornya some processing, that's where we make additional revenue. Albornya other trawa, that's where we make additional revenue. So not on the fishing itself, but on the processing side that tiyal lumngit. So we don't have to take more fish, but at least the increase revenue make sure kasi ngariya ngigil enough for supply local market. Agil may protection around 2017 kasi maybe those around 100 to 200 metric tons of tuna supply local market also tourism continue to increase.
Another question?
One question, Minister. Minister, hindi so kalagay ba sa poultry processing sa house ramal? Saan ka operational yes, sir?
So, malugil-gil dili kali kadamil ka rura umus amal ka. Dili ka kamal ka to bro. So, mga dora ang ilo awos sulkuk mo irang kalkareta. Milatara gimoro ringa melalui trasyawan mo. Pemla ako sa kumaman mga umus amal kami ko kumus kumaman mo garo lamal kung ngani sige dul kasi mo sa edel mo ano kasi maybe at least tool kora mo commercial scale mo ringel kasi broiler ngigil mo meat.
Halakok matayalong sa Minister HRCT din. Minister Tuntun Maldil, doon siya gira turista. Ay, kamo.
La Presidente, el Correa Víctor Amaram, gran barba turismo, todo lo partir. Last year, Lega Majeli Firm Tirada Media, Le Endra 2025, 71,681 are tourists. The projection again of 69,000, let's either say. Selgo projection again of 2026. Assuming legal flight ligida dimra Israel, the 87,869 para target years. To share with you, Ashabala, sila 2024, 5,936. Leandra, 8,000. We're up about 35%. And nang mas number 4, kiring malaro. Ashabala.
Hindi na, kabura, mandara na November and December.
Month of November, December. I don't have that. Hindi ko may I don't have that. Hindi, ano? According to UA, it's relatively full up in March. That's as far as the following. Bishop is looking good. Australia and the really not strong. The markets are best. In Mania, Blue, so so ang delegal siya ni Presidenta tuwang naman si Presidente Miguel Alada Shaban Marco Isel Villarenas Pelilio seguida tara otro clone while advertising ergid legadangal tangat rengel Princess Aikora Shabal amlo mesa selvidom tilo da Marklol Isera Shabal sengara theater sa Shabal el time el marahil maradamal nanwikal el adamal medangalia. It's called Peliliu, ang anime, ang anime. Tengamle, actually, it was a magazine, itanamal tin mo movie, mungura manga. El masadra, tukara makamate, basically, a story ringia, aterul adal ngara, lilio lo sigaro lil mutul masyabat. Mungura sad story, ding, klol advertising el mera,ulurbelo. Ito katim na sokal siya, President.
Sula, kada مساعدة الويلم يقالوك تيل لذا توريست رادر عوض البلول مي تدوم مرال واسي تيل فلايتر أستراليا ملا مغورة مسيسي الدلويل اللي يقدر مغيلا بلور أستراليا ملا موتايم كذا باي أوبنر امبسير يقدر بلور أستراليا من لو تيرا انتي ذا المرال بيرا غلولار تيل نمرغ الباجت ملو سئيل لولا باجت را امبسير أستراليا el alsil se tiramo o moria hearing rengel nia naminirgit el morsel el postra ambasador el Mr. Roland Tangalbat moria hearing ring ra senet ura senet tamal mle bedola questioner tira tase engari executive order magatpi office makasi wala ndeka bay approve ng galan bori ambassador el executive order tela malsoril mo approve ringi mga kuwate ala el signer tial executive order mo official el adi afternoon at umre ka hearing at approve ambassador mo sa ambassador gid mora a Blue Australia. Okay, so yeah, you know, Minister Tutul, I shared at the last press conference. Said number I this year tourist Australia, just Australians, I'm like 366 in November, and that's basically almost 100 per flight. Flight, we're getting close to capacity. I don't say numbers are Ashabale, average around 400 a month, over 1,000 a month for November and December. Say a close impact. Change I got flight among close to tell I got the wheeler give them bring us to other Australia continued sponsor of flight. Think I'm not going to like I'm not break even. Maradra Shabal. Direct Muterteal, Uranga Sudir Triaterul volunteers read the Mela video. Maria Diego Omrael. Oh, Diego, Diego. Mga Omrael, Diego Omrael. Yun lang. Lastly, elal January 15, no? Tugobet silsils. Burdera, dirte dela. Mga southern mutialteal le malmrenga sulir service tirma government triyed ma radra blur belau. Trigalte de agota Geralda Smau, ngang arsel school edra blur ablilio. Happy birthday. Yang aria kaya Raymond. Ngam diri kan ngara MOE ngara special education program. Lastly, Minister Obia, Marcel Aviation Authority rigid, National Aviation Authority, Mr. Richard Alonso. O later Richard Alonso. Happy birthday. Magdamal di mutarteal mal mereng skulir, ni trak langat langat mortir, marbek ladr belau, ma uk drut mera press conference. Ngari al muto question Jennifer.
Kurang the swimmer cell le pasra Senate self referendum. El sorry el sumang pasra housing sorry malaseng curar balu el giret tigal asylum seekers and then may an ungerul korega ngaraw the swimmer tial la shutdown el Angar state government bang gorama la mangalwa seng di al sorira Governor Natus Miss Alol Molma of course lgol rira seng kelmleg past governor agidel mo governor and the ring sa former governor ade al sual mo mang gora di suadal nga auto swim gidel sele ko to kora malat kertigal state employees al sumran na shutdown na government thing rangayaw ga sulang ko
Wala kau tutela lagi bomit kama legislature lagi tambe segera rokol bulo o legislature sel waisel daga governor tiringel president se legislature through a self process rabluri should take over di of course igel sum di igel sebel yang domestic affairs sel mo governor la mle happen rablur ngat pangarang ramong magi man lisendi kadolgi tra rablur ne ora tiabluri. So, of course, seluk public auditor or telablu. I think call message and mortil was they need to get their government in order. I go do there other ablur belau. Look, I designated mora other ablur meaur. A girel malmal to me tell the girel with a umrole. A girel batakle un la reporting in mora. Umasangan auditor ma olvida kalulaw mga public auditor amru selureren maulang na hold igel na freeze igel black quarantine mortir dir adrablu na ora ngari ala olvida til dir gaureor magunite te hace get to work clean up realmente mrelin morsel gira mulang aral kami asur adrablu What they also the national government take over a state, will and a state government dictate. Referendum. Deksan mga mokte kalau sengara ulah kadang referendum. Kita ngari olbira kalau lagi, ngari executive branch ngari ledo omi atau review emat mok mang ngarea writer ang idil senator ngidil senator propose ang idil la I guess proposal la of course ang require mga senate require mga house require president assign okay ang mula so tela diri ka mga process
Itorio milsa sel congressional hearing ra Homeland Security Christie engel Congress Goldman na agoram le eskagel was tigal asylum seekers el legally tangaram rigel olngit el tamle immigration el mong o siga asylum seeker ngaral ulam rigel so legally they're there and they're actually deporting them. Manggora dimle aktimid sa se wase tial MOU bled assigner ngi se tigayidel adel el deporter tir sabe edel wase tigayidel adel wasader tira Congress Goldman el wase they're seeking asylum seekers and namo de also rin nga ramarigel matawal tira deporter tir although they're legally there sabe edel mulway say
Ako true if they're asylum seekers, they have to request asylum or sila 1 year. Sel balturam real. Tirga nga do southern third country national sa dimlakal meter sel deadline ara 1 year. Turupte malorior emro kasi gyosig asylum. So tangara status tirablo real adam model the third country nationals. Ma mrigela ala orti lorior le goto sa gibomreng agel amo ora apa. Ma dol tirak ra blue ramrigela ta ala orti lorior. Ra blue ramrigela kera blue ramrigela. Dindi kalau lagi di benefits, food stamp, mana kira tiga. Kemudian lagi di status kita ada balas syarat orang mereka orang ramu. Di course mereka omral wase tiga dekat meral ngari orang berablu de tiga orang mereka. Omral wase tiga economic migrants. Temle rablu orang mereka lo sih gaurior. Di kayak mengaria namu dorok kalmora Costa Rica teto bertiram lalu terreturn mablu leng. Dekan meral sorry ngara Costa Rica. Ma Amerika la sel mokter tira se como más hombre enforcer la mam o se triga la meral los peañaso angaria process bol falora process el beltruri mang di Amerika la adegal se lol duro cortrigel morme mang din se lol duro cortil mora tarablu mgida gongel mala kida wa sel imrablu mgida gongel mala tin merbelaw sin meuro rebelaw emro al sumang moria issue tirm sadar al duro cortil morme engida ukara le dan mo review sel bulu lo ase say for tin morme india emal duro cortil morme oren sel ditir sum sori ditir mara la te ditir mara te da stober tire kida te april bulu oren for example Australia akong el malar tire te kong el sil mo bal mora kida bulu Why trigger Uyghurs amlar belang are no Turkey amlar di semble onti den mara bluram regela anadol dollar tigel gora tomra lo se almen msi ngarte aureo mang amle gora request regi del mo ase al sibil ngarte gora amle wa kan ma ore regi mate dira se andi ngare adra huri ping ngare adra Vietnam ngare adra Thailand ngare adra Bangladesh ma Indonesia macam so min benar tirge Ilangari tigelo saya kama Cristiano gimana belum Muslim all the lakar you know those are issues mang kita Cristiano belum kama sertira saya mga relal tel working group pergi dan mau review OMS mereka melar tigel dom to social channel alamet comfortable kira belum gafit magalki di way trigale e with tela ngara blur bela al chils di tel mutlungi ratiale process ra labor glen atige tertiram namo almer bela dega temea employer amom te interview tir ngara PCC ngara mo interview tir di sai do se ngara tir ndia ja no process namore amla ombre بس يقول رمله قدم له كلوز الموت الأوبن إلا قدم موت المهم المسومة والله يسه يقوم برا المسؤولة على التيال ما نكسب بس كان بنسى كده أنا next week 2 weeks or 2 weeks the break at 2 weeks يقول رمله 2 hours press conference 2.5 di como actividad azul y el cloud tutra o kaigan ministry local share ayel activity loro como sulang ara oversight na mga oversight to kaigan question or Goram le prepare a Minister of Justice malbor oversight ren draman de ngora kal smokul. Aram sulang ate sulo mokal tanga tra bulwad ma bulura arbek ladar belom. Manex.